The divine commanded me to save this world. Today we got a fun Madeleine Cookie topping guide for you in store, so thank you for tuning in. As always, we'll walk through Madeleine Cookie, recently buffed with the magic candy, as you can see above me here, additionally or behind. On top of that, we'll walk through this cookie, we'll break down the topping guide of choice and why, and give you some tips and tricks, and then we'll go for a run with the team as we always do and pull it all back together. Now, those timestamps are available to you down below. If you got questions, comments throughout, you let me know. I love to hear from you, and feel free to swing by the Discord server. With that said, let's go check out Madeleine Cookie here and the topping guide. So first off, here's what we got going on. Madeleine Cookie is a defensive cookie, again receiving a big buff here with the magic candy. So let's take a look at what's going on with the magic candy here. So again, with the power of light, Madeleine Cookie will deal extra damage with the skill. Upon using this skill, he will unleash the power of light after a certain number of attacks, dealing greater damage and extra true damage proportional to his max HP. Madeleine Cookie will restore his own HP whenever he unleashes the power of light. Once the skill is over, the remaining light becomes a shield to Madeleine Cookie. Damage relative is capped at 300,000. Skill extra damage percentage of attack. Unleashed light damage percentage of attack. Unleashed light damage extra. True damage to max HP cookies 3%. Single hit damage others 280%. Light healing 150%. And HP shield 13.5%. Now you also get team's light type attack damage plus 20% for 20 seconds, stacks up to twice. So this is a big buff to a light team. One of the reasons why speed has been a need in PvP as an example. Also, that giving this particular cookie a great buff for PvE as well. So those are great things to keep in mind. Big things also to keep in mind in terms of tips there. HP and attack. Those are all big items here now when it comes to Madeleine. Now, if we look at the regular skill here, Commander's Honor calls upon the Celestial Light that allows performing ranged area attacks instead of regular attacks while under the Celestial Light. Madeleine Cookie receives a buff, making him immune to debuffs. Immunity for 10 seconds, single hit damage 207. So fairly weak and straightforward. Again, obviously more of that tank with that immunity there, not a ton on that single hit damage. The magic candy really packing in some power for this particular cookie. So big moves there in terms of that buff and that terms of that upgrade. Certainly, again, as we've said, we've seen this cookie more used in PvP now, on top of that with the lightspeed teams, which is great. So that is the background Madeleine Cookie here. Let's go ahead now and talk about the toppings. So here's what we got. We got 5 solid almonds. I still recommend 5 solid almonds because this is really a defensive type cookie. Survivability is going to be key. However, when we get into these substats, there are some very important things that we talked about that you want to keep in mind. So the first one being scaling on HP and scaling on attack. So that will certainly move these two really to a tier 1 kind of bonus effect. Additionally here, obviously we got damage resistance. We want more damage resistance, continuing that tier 1. Additionally, defense, cooldown are all great things. Debuff resist is nice as well here in this case. Cooldowns, like I said, is good. And if you go that attack speed kind of route, attack speed's great for this particular cookie. So think about that as really a tier 1, tier 2 kind of for most of the rest stuff in terms of breaking those down. So when we look at what we have going on, we got debuff resist, cooldown, damage resist, which is nice. Here again, debuff resist, attack, amplify buff, attack speed, debuff resist, amplify buff, crit resist, attack speed, cooldown, and then crit resist, amplify buff, and cooldown. So I don't really have a great setup in terms of what I have, just the way that these particular solid almonds went through when I upgraded the toppings. More attack would be helpful, more HP would be helpful. We did get some damage resist, that would be helpful, but the majority of stuff really in that kind of tier 2 slot. I would maybe give this a 5 out of 10 in terms of our almond toppings here. Again, we talked about some of the missing things that would certainly be very useful for this particular cookie. So now that we've talked about Madeleine Cookie, gave you some breakdown on this particular one, talked about the buffing with the candies. We also went through the skill set, move set, and the topping. Let's go ahead and go for a run with the team. So because this is always one of my favorite things, as always, we will go to Hall of Enlightenment. We will play 8 29. There you are. We are ready. Let's go find a run with the team. Which one do we want to use here? Oh, that is the question, my friends. Let's edit. Do we think Madeleine Cookie can get all the way through all by themselves? I think we might be able to. 368, 97. Let's go. Yes, we're going for it with our full defense type cookie. Let's flip our speed up a little bit here. So there you go. We don't need the auto on. There we go. Single hit attacks. Let's hit this. Boom. Now this stays on, as you can see. You see the stacking on the light type damage, huge on the arrow. To be able to hit all those instead of being right indirectly in there. Let's go ahead. Boom. Boom. Huge, 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 huge. Look at that. Now back to the regular attack. Cooldown coming. Uh-oh. Getting stunned, getting stunned. Let this go through, and then we'll play it on the last one here. Here's our friends right now. Boom. Huge damage. 60,000 damage. Not 300. Now, there you have it with our Madeleine Cookie.
Prepare a victory banquet.
Prepare the victory banquet, my friends. Let's go and pull it all back here for today's topping guide. All right. Madeleine Cookie receives a buff, gets beefier, gets better, and my sword shall bring us victory. That is the case for today. Now, with that, let's pull it all back together. So we broke down this cookie. We gave you a little bit of the breakdown in terms of why the solid almonds. We gave you that topping guide of choice. We broke down kind of the tier 1, tier 2 in terms of additional buffs. We went over the new magic candy, the buff, beefier Madeleine here from that perspective, some of the old school moveset that we had here as well, or the moveset that's still there, Commander's Honor, and went for a run with pure vanilla. With that, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Questions, comments, do let me know. I'd love to hear them. Feel free to swing by the Discord server, and as always, thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your subs as we continue to grow this amazing community, and the likes as well. With that, we got a ton more CookieRun Kingdom content here on the channel you should absolutely check out, and we have more headed your way as always. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Mythras out of here.